A few minutes ago, the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation made another official statement regarding the situation in the Kursk region. So, according to the Russian Defense Ministry, over the past 24 hours, the Ukrainian army has lost 400 soldiers and 20 units of heavy equipment in the Kursk region. It is reported that during the entire period of hostilities, the Ukrainian army lost 20,000 soldiers, 140 tanks, 102 armored personnel carriers, 70 infantry fighting vehicles, and 900 armored fighting vehicles in the Kursk region. Thus, Ukraine has lost an entire army corps in the Kursk region since August of this year. Representatives of the Russian military department also officially stated that the fighters of the group of troops under the designation Sever liberated the settlement of NOVSELOVKA in the northern part of the Sudzansky district of the Kursk region. However, it is worth noting that as of October 4, 2024, the fiercest fighting is recorded in the southern part of the Sudzansky district of the Kursk region, where Russian soldiers continue to squeeze out the Ukrainian army units in the Plikovo area. According to war correspondents, Russian troops fully own initiative, continuing to dislodge enemy forces from their positions. It is reported that in the last 2 hours alone, the Ukrainian army has lost 30 soldiers, 1 unmanned aerial vehicles control point, and 5 mortar crews in the Plikovo area. War correspondents confirmed that starting on October 1, the Ukrainian High Military Command began gradually withdrawing the remaining elite units of the armed forces of Ukraine and foreign mercenaries from the Kursk region, many of whom are active duty soldiers and officers of NATO armies. It is reported that the Ukrainian command has replaced them with ordinary combatant units of the Ukrainian army, consisting of ordinary mobilized soldiers and former inmates. War correspondents claim that the fighters of these ordinary combatant units of the Ukrainian army do not engage in shooting battles with Russian troops, and do not organize raids on roads and fields of the Kursk region. It is reported that they constantly sit in their trenches, and immediately run away as soon as Russian troops begin to storm the Ukrainian army's strongholds. At the same time, it is worth noting that the Ukrainian High Military Command continues to keep elite units and NATO soldiers in key and high-value areas of the Kursk region. For example, in such settlements as Lyubimovka and Plikovo, there are still elite units of the armed forces of Ukraine, including Ukrainian Spetsnaz. Their main task is to hold these settlements at any cost, in order not to lose the logistics corridors, through which Ukrainian and NATO forces are supplied in the Kursk region. Commenting on the current situation, an authoritative military journalist and expert Yuri Podolyaka said that everything that is happening right now in the Kursk region indicates that the Ukrainian army units will soon be finally defeated in Lyubimovka and Plikovo. According to him, the liberation of these settlements by Russian troops would be an important milestone in the destruction of the Ukrainian army units and NATO forces in the Kursk region. In the Toretsk direction of the front, the situation of the Ukrainian army also continues to deteriorate rapidly. So, on October 3, at 8 a.m. Moscow time, war correspondents confirmed that Russian fighters of the group of troops under the designation center entered the strategically important settlement of Leonidovka and took 90% of the territory of this village under their control. According to war correspondents, as of October 4, 2024, the Ukrainian army units continue to maintain fierce resistance near the Obzornaya railway station, in the northeastern part of Leonidovka. Thus, Russian troops also began to approach the city of Toretsk from a southwesterly direction. At the same time, it is worth noting that Russian offensive units are already in the city center, gradually moving forward deep into enemy territory. Observing the actions of Russian troops in this direction of the front, it becomes clear that the Russian High Military Command is using the same tactics in the battles for Toretsk as in Volodar. Russian troops are gradually covering the Toretsk from the flanks, surrounding the city from the west and east. As a result, this will force the Ukrainian army units to leave Toretsk in a northerly direction. Meanwhile, the representative of the Ukrainian General Staff Vadim Misnik commented on the statements of Western experts and Ukrainian telegram channels that Russian troops had used the world's most powerful non-nuclear bomb ODAB 9000 in the Kharkiv direction of the front. Trying to calm down the Ukrainian soldiers, Vadim Misnik started saying a bunch of nonsense. In particular, he said that this aerial bomb is not so terrible and deadly. He made this statement against the background of a video that appeared on the network, which shows a massive explosion that destroyed the positions of the Ukrainian soldiers in the city of Volchansk. Analyzing this video, many Western experts concluded that Russia for the first time used the world's most powerful non-nuclear bomb ODAB 9000. Moreover, the authoritative Russian telegram channel Kondotiero also stated that the Russian military used an aerial bomb ODAB 9000, with an explosive mass of more than 7 tons. By the way, war correspondent Andrei Rudenko was one of the first to report that the Russians used the aerial bomb ODAB 9000 in Volchansk. However, it is worth noting that there are also military experts who doubted that this aerial bomb was ODAB 9000. According to them, Russian engineers have not yet managed to create an effective universal planning and correction module for this aerial bomb, and therefore its application in the special military operation zone is not possible. For example, experts from the Network Edition Life said that the positions of Ukrainian soldiers in Volchansk were destroyed not by ODAB 9000, but by the aerial bomb ODAB 1500. According to them, such a powerful explosion is explained by the fact that ODAB 1500 hit a warehouse, where missiles and shells of the Ukrainian army units were stored. My friends, whatever it may be, it is necessary to admit that Russian engineers are still developing and improving universal planning and correction modules for heavy-duty aerial bombs of the FAB and ODAB families. By the way, a year ago, many experts also did not believe that Russian engineers could create a universal planning and correction module for the aerial bomb FAB 3000. However, as time has shown, Russian engineers still managed to create an effective planning and correction module for this aerial bomb, as a result of which dozens of powerful strongholds and command posts of the armed forces of Ukraine have already been destroyed. Personally, I wouldn't be surprised if the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation soon officially confirms that Russian engineers have managed to create a universal planning and correction module for the world's most powerful non-nuclear bomb ODAB 9000.